people are dead. The end result of a high-speed chase that reached speeds of 100 miles per hour. Police say almost a dozen other undocumented immigrants were injured when the SUV they were in crashed over on the east side. I understand there may have been 17 people in the vehicle and that some of them may not make it.
That's right, Mark. We're still trying to get actual confirmation on the number, but we do know at least 15, possibly as many as 17. Most of them illegal immigrants were in that SUV, and most of them were actually ejected after this 100-mile-per-hour chase ended with the SUV's rollover on the east side of town. That SUV, a black Ford Excursion, was driving through Natalia when it sped past a Natalia patrol car at over 100 miles per hour. And that began a chase that continued along I-10 into San Antonio and also reached parts of Highway 37 until the Excursion rolled over several times near 10 East and 1604. And the rollover sent 15 people flying out of the vehicle. 2 of those ejected died at the scene. Another was killed after getting crushed under the truck.
The crushed SUV on its roof. Highway Patrol says at least 22 people were riding inside. The SUV lost control and it rolled along a pretty popular smuggling route. Several people were thrown out of there. Survivors airlifted to a couple of nearby hospitals. Crash happened near the small town of Sonoita, which is southeast of Tucson. And we're told the people in that SUV were likely illegal immigrants from a couple of different countries, including El Salvador, Guatemala, and Mexico.
Now, the understanding is, the information is that these were possibly illegal border crossers, illegal immigrants that were coming through the area, possibly spotted by a border patrol who came up on this accident or followed this particular vehicle that rolled over on that area.
Now, at this point, investigators have not ID'd the driver of that SUV, or they haven't figured out who the person was, but they do say if that person survives, they will likely be facing charges for this deadly crash.
We basically got an anonymous call of a suspicious vehicle dropping off a large number of subjects into a particular apartment out here. When we came out here, my officers found that they were, they could hear a lot of voices inside. And kind of from outside appeared pretty typical of our drop house with a lot of people inside. We talked to a neighbor, and they basically said, yeah, it appeared that there might be, some undocumented people in there. And then we just made contact with the department, pretty much called them out, and as you can see, 46 subjects came out of a little one-bedroom apartment.
Agents say they have found a tunnel near the Mexican border town Tecate, and they say it may have been used to smuggle drugs across the U.S.-Mexico border. The discovery was made when a drug-sniffing dog found a trailer that was blocking the entrance to a tunnel. Almost 5 tons of marijuana were found inside the trailer, and when authorities approached it, an armed man disappeared into a hole. The man is being sought by police, and authorities in Mexico continue to search for the other end of the tunnel.
24 suspected illegal immigrants are rounded up outside this house near Indian School Road and 30th Avenue. For Tammy Astorga, who lives 2 doors down, it's too close to home.
Way too close to home.
She says she'd heard a lot of noises coming from the house lately.
A lot of activity, a lot of people in and out. At night, it's busier.
But she never reported it.
What am I going to report? There's people out there, they could have a barbecue. I wasn't going to go investigate.
Police say they were tipped off about the drop house this morning. Among the 6 women and 18 men, they say some were being held against their will.
And once they get here, their shoes are taken, they're held in houses, and they're held at gunpoint.
There isn't a safe place anymore.
Astorga says she wishes she could move her family away from danger, but she can't.
Unfortunately, in this economy, there's not too much we can do. Try to find another place to live, but how far can you go? It's everywhere now.
When communities are terrorized by ICE immigration raids, when nursing mothers are torn from their babies, when children come home from school to find their parents missing, when people are detained without access to legal counsel.
Wow, Senator Obama's wrong when he condemns ICE. The baby mother story in Massachusetts was completely false. And ICE is simply enforcing the law. Illegal immigrants have no right to be in this country.
Thank you. 6 people are in the hospital tonight after the driver of a minivan crashed and overturned on the 905 freeway. Now, it happened this morning on the westbound 905 near the 805. As 10 News reporter Edie Ramos shows us, the van was being chased by Border Patrol agents who believed that there were illegal immigrants inside.
Just before 11 this morning, the U.S. Border Patrol received a call from a security guard by the Otay Mesa Port of Entry. The guard claimed to see several people climb into the back of a white minivan and suspected they had just crossed the international border.
We had air support in the area, so our helicopter came across and spotted the vehicle and pointed it out to one of our marked units. As the marked Border Patrol vehicle came up behind the suspected vehicle and turned on its emergency equipment, the vehicle sped off at a high rate of speed.
High speeds prompted Border Patrol agents to stop chasing the minivan, relying instead on the agency's helicopter.
Welcome. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this opportunity and for hearing me today. I am Carol Plato. I am from Martin County, and I am Director of Corporate Business Services for Martin Memorial Medical Center. I just have a brief couple stories to tell you about. In 2001, we had a Guatemalan, an illegal patient in our hospital. He was there from 2001 until 2003. He had over $1.5 million in health care services. We forcibly returned him to his home country of Guatemala at our own cost of $30,000. You ask, why am I telling you about a case that happened in 2003? Because today that case is not over. We have spent and are spending up to $250,000 in legal fees because his family here in the United States is suing us because they think it was inappropriate for us to return this illegal patient to his home country. Currently, as of today, I have a patient from Mexico who has been in my hospital for 760 days. He has severe brain damage. He has no family, no friends. His charges to date for almost 2 years is $1.5 million, and we have contacted the Mexican consulate 4 times. We've contacted immigration, and nobody will help us return this patient to Mexico. We're even willing to spend our own $30,000 to return this patient. We can't get anyone to help us with that. In 2007, the Florida Hospital Association estimates that there was $100 million in costs for illegal patient care. That affects all of us. One of the major problems that healthcare institutions have today that you need to be aware of is ongoing care. If somebody comes into our emergency rooms, we don't turn them away. But if somebody comes into our emergency room and they have renal failure and they require dialysis, right now, I have 6 patients, illegal, undocumented patients that we are seeing every 3 days for renal dialysis. For all of this that I've talked to you about, we've received no reimbursement. This obviously affects all of us in this room. Our health care costs are severely affected by this. Also would like to end with pointing out that a large percentage of the babies born at our facility are from illegal parents.
Great. Thank you. I do have one quick question for Representative Shank.
Sorry, I know there's a lot of speakers. Ma'am, when you know that they're illegal and they come to your hospital, do you report them to the federal authorities to come get them?
We have tried, and we have been told on numerous occasions that they're only interested if a crime has been committed. And from what I understand, it seems like they're not even interested then.
So the fact that they're illegal is not enough crime?
Correct.
Nice. Thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else saying something like that, anybody who is attempting to especially reach the highest court in the land, would immediately be disqualified.
Judge Sotomayor is a racist?
Her words would indicate that that is the truth. And when you are looking to be on the Supreme Court like that, or if you belong to an organization called Raza in this case, which is, from my point of view anyway, just nothing more than a Latino, it's a counterpart, it's a Latino KKK without the hoods or the nooses. If you belong to something like that, you have to explain that in a way that's going to convince me and a lot of other people that it's got nothing to do with race, even though the logo for La Raza is all for the race, nothing for the rest.
All right, we're not talking about, you know what?
Well, she's a member.
We're not
she's
talking
a member
about
of
La
La
Raza
Raza
here, though. We're talking about that specific
But she's
quote.
a member.
But the thing that has
she's a member of La Raza.
The thing